Hey, yo, it's me, it's the RAV. Raven Effect is back here as we are doing the Heelcast again. Guys, we had a fun time last week, and we actually brought our boy Wrestling Robert back. Rob, how's it going, man?
Hey, everything is good. Thanks, everybody, for their kind words for last week's show. Go ahead.
Go ahead, buddy.
Man, I had a great time, so I hope this episode of the Heelcast is even better, just like this week's episode of Impact Wrestling, who did very good on the rating side of things. So that is going to be a conversation later on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, the show can only get any better because we brought back this guy. Let's see. One time he was called the TNA dude. And then it was Brother Underscore. Some of you don't know is that back in 2015, for a very brief amount of time, he was also called the GFW dude because when we read about this invasion storyline in the spoilers, it actually sounded good. When it came on TV, it sounded like shit. But now the new, improved, reincarnated GFW dude. What's up, man? Welcome back.
Oh, thanks. And I sound like shit too, so I think it's probably a good fit for me. What do you think?
Yeah, so long story short, the GFW dude here doesn't really have internet, so we are doing the talk show route, so the Heelcast isn't going to sound its best. However, you need to thank GFW dude here because he wanted to go out of his way to make sure he got on and do the Heelcast this week instead of rolling without him. So props to him. He's had a shitty week, everyone, so show him some love for that. All right, guys, so we're going to move into the plugs here, and we'll get going. But, look, I've been telling everyone about my man Big Ray. Check out Big Ray's show. He's a senior producer and reporter at OneWrestling.com and the only recognized protege of Bill Apter, everyone. Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, it's at Big Ray's Show, and it's also wrestling video, or it's One Wrestling Video on YouTube. Sorry about that. Check him out at WrestleZone.com on the WrestleZone Daily with Nick Hausman. I'm sorry, I still got to get pronunciation on that. Also, the very popular Impact Attack, hashtag Impact Attack podcast with Ben the Hacker Hammond. Just search Hacker Hammond anywhere you listen to your favorite audio content every Saturday. Look, man, Big Ray is an awesome dude. He really is totally cool, man. He stands for approval on us. We stand for approval on him for sure. I mean, it's someone that grew up in the business. Literally, he grew up in the business as a kid. He did the Can-Am thing with Andre Corbeil. So, look, it's someone, like I said, with the big mainstream thing that's not shitting on Impact Wrestling. So definitely give this dude a follow and check out his show. Also, check out ImpactAsylum.net, safe haven for Impact Wrestling, all of that. Of course, there you can find out straight shooting with our boy FK9. Also, check out Chef and Kyle, man. Impact Head. I love what they're doing, man. I enjoy listening to their show. Of course, you can find Andre Corbeil, who was mentioned earlier, BQ at King of the Mountain, Impact One of a Kind Society podcast from our boy, One of a Kind, LB Elite One of a Kind, I believe, man. Definitely gonna plug him now. And also, of course, this Wrestling Robert guy we know, he also does this other show called Robert Does Wrestling. Rob, just tell him where we can find you at again, man.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, just searching for Robert Does Wrestling. I'm going to be doing a couple of different things this week, so stay tuned for those updates, including probably a music cover that I'm working on it.
Now, Robert, with its name like Robert Does Wrestling, you got to have our boy Harold Hurls on as a guest host. Because Hurls does everything. And everybody. I think it's a perfect match. What do you think, Raven Effect?
I think there's a cat around. Hurls is fucking it. Yeah, Hurls do it.
Somebody's doing something. Robert, it's going to be Hurls that's doing it.
He's the undisputed king of fat style. I mean, if you don't get fat, be at a Wendy's bathroom. You don't fuck around. He's like Frank Reynolds on It's Always Sunny. But also, man, I just want to say on a serious note, we kind of informed everyone about our boy Eli Samuel Rosario last week, and I felt terrible that I didn't know. But man, I want to like legitimately, sometimes I lose faith in the human race. I really do. But man, I just want to thank everyone, all the Heelcast Nation, all our listeners, man, who just showed out. and just all the overwhelming support and, positive vibes that were sent Rob, or I'm not Rob, I'm sorry, but Eli's way, man. It was touching. It was really nice to see. I mean, normally, like, most of our comments were about Eli, and that was awesome, man. He's just such a good dude. Eli, we want to have you on the show here one of these days, too, man, as a guest. We'd love to get you on, talk some Impact with us. And, I like the coolest thing, but kind of also, I'm kind of like, what the fuck, was our boy Chairman, man. He said he's going to go follow Eli on Twitter. Chairman doesn't follow us or me, so, like, what the fuck, Chairman? I'm just calling you out on that, man. But also, Chairman, dude, follow me on Twitter and message me, because we've actually been trying to get a hold of you. We'd like to talk to you about something, man. So, Chairman, what up? Also, I mean, just the love for Eli, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt, Raymond. In fact, I actually felt like crap because I didn't know what was going on. You know, I'm not the most active Twitter follower, but Eli's one of the coolest guys out there. So much love to you, buddy, and I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, nothing but the best wishes for Eli.
I mean, literally from, like, day one since I had Twitter, man, he was, like, one of the first people I interacted with, other than, like, the three other people we were doing the show with. And, I mean, he's just been an awesome guy since day one. So we're proud of you, man. Glad to hear everything's going better. Eli actually messaged me today. I messaged him back. Haven't heard back yet, but hopefully we'll hear something from him soon. Also, man, my birthday was on Slammiversary, but, we got another Heelcast birthday coming up. This dude may have made it out, but he's still hardcore. In fact, he's so hard that they call him that blue pill because he stays so hard. That guy repping that heel team 6, that one or two faces of Impact Wrestling fandom that you see. Chef has a birthday tomorrow, so we want to give a Heelcast happy birthday to Chef. Chef Impact head. Don't know when we're going to get Chef back on again because I talked to him today. I know he's having a lot going on. He's a real busy man, but Chef, happy birthday, man.
That's right. Happy birthday, old guy.
No doubt, man. So, Heelcast Nation, wish Chef a happy birthday. His birthday is tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, the 19th. So, just remember that. Also, sorry, we are recording late, Heelcast Nation. We're normally quicker than this, but we're going to hop into the news now. So, Impact, GFW, still getting used to this. GFW is expanding its relationship with Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan. I guess the two, what is it, Marufuji and, I can't remember the guy's name. Ishimari. So they're going to be at the next set of tapings. There is talk that we may get more Noah talent coming in. I did read in October, Eddie Edwards and Moose are going back over there. We know Robbie E's still over there, thankfully. But GFW, dude, thoughts on the Noah relationship here?
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. If they're going to use these guys in cool ways, maybe add some tag teams here and there, bring some folks in for things like the Super X Cup and whatnot, I think it's fantastic. What I think they're going to have a difficult time is working them into a traditional storyline. When you watch the New Japan folks in Ring of Honor, they don't do well or really even get traditional storylines. So I think if they use them properly, I think it's cool. I think if this is a concept that is going to be fresh and we're going to get to see a lot of new faces and maybe a much larger roster than we would if they had to have everybody on roll at the same time.
I'm happy that they're doing the Noah thing because they're also going to be exchanging new talent. As far as I heard, they're going to be exchanging greener talent. Therefore, you will have a new crop of, let's say, undercard guys because they're going to send Mahabali Shera, just in case you're wondering, to Japan. So probably he's going to end up doing better, obviously, because he will have a better teacher than us know. But it is what it is. I am happy to see Japanese talent on Impact Wrestling. Go ahead.
I'll tell you another thing, guys. It gives these wrestlers additional streams of income, right? We see wrestlers choosing Ring of Honor because they can go over to New Japan. So being able to send guys over to Noah and make additional money over there, that's another benefit of going to work for Impact Wrestling now, or GFW, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, I don't know too much about Noah at all, but I haven't seen too much of these guys either, but that Slammiversary match was just killer. And of course, I'm excited to see it. I want to see more tag teams, more X Division guys. We probably need some more knockouts too. If they have some, we can take some. And if they're going to take Shera off of our hands, too, I mean, dude, they already got Robbie E. They're going to take Shera, too. I mean, sign me up. Why didn't this shit happen earlier? Oh, yeah, Dixie. But,
yeah, Raven Effect. I take offense at that. Dixie Carter gave us Mahabali Shera and Rob Terry. And Robbie E. And so, I mean, let's think about it. We also got Grado from Dixie Carter. Of course, I like Grado. But she was good for the international scene. Raven Effect, are you with us? Oh, no, Robert. I think we lost Raven Effect.
We lost him.
He's gone.
So let's continue.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes. Let's talk about a little bit about the Rey Mysterio rumor. What do you make of this DFW dude?
I got to tell you something, Robert. So when I think about Rey Mysterio Jr., yes, Raven Effect, we're still here, buddy. When I think about Rey Mysterio Jr., I have the total mixed emotions. When you tell me, say the word cruiserweight, now I'm a WCW guy. Rey Mysterio was just amazing in WCW. And of course, I haven't watched him since WCW because I don't watch WWE. So on one hand, I just think of this amazing, amazing talent and what it would need like just to have him again. And then I think to myself, is he going to be what he was in WCW? No. And so I'm torn, actually, Robert, because on one hand, I'd love to see this guy that I absolutely, I mean, he was just so amazing in WCW. I mean, I have these amazing memories of him, but I'm also afraid he's going to be a shell of himself. So I'm torn, completely torn on it.
I am kind of that way because I am the same size as Rey Mysterio, same height, same weight. And I would love, there is a part of me that I would love to basically be able to meet him and probably have a good laugh. Obviously, meeting a fan who is almost the same size as you and could pass basically as a double of Rey Mysterio. And obviously, Rey Mysterio, he's going to bring a lot of the Latino audience, which at this moment Impact is looking to be able to garner around the product. But at the same time, Rey Mysterio is not the same as he used to be a couple of years back, and he has a very bad knee. And I know Impact are not going to have the discipline not to put him in some of those car wreck matches or even dangerous matches like the Ultimate X. And the thought of watching Rey Mysterio cutting his career short on an Ultimate X match is going to be devastating to everyone who has followed him for a couple of times. So it is catch-22. Damn if you do and damn if you don't. Go ahead, Ray Benefit.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Basically, all I was going to say, and I was going to move on unless you guys had something to say about Mysterio, but I was going to say, look, I've talked to Rey Mysterio for 3 weeks now on this show, and all I got to say is sometimes I tell you so, and I've kind of been saying this is going to happen. It's been a wild prediction, to be honest. I didn't have any inside info by any stretch of the imagination. I just kind of felt it was going to happen. It's still not an I told you so for Raven Effect yet, but, also don't sleep on my other I told you so, because there was also a tweet that came out from whoever the hell was doing the GFW commentary with Chael Sonnen. But he also said, since it's GFW now, does this mean that Chael Sonnen and I are still employed? Look, I think they're eventually, it's not going to happen right away because Chael is very active with Bellator. He's not done fighting, but I think we're going to see Chael in GFW too. Mark my words on that.
Do you think he'll be calling Donovan Dijak matches?
I absolutely think that.
Sorry, girls. We had to throw that out there. We're doing predictions. We got to talk Donovan Dijak.
Great calling Shark Boy. I may call Mysterio and Chael. Wouldn't it be amazing if like a year down the road or something, no one saw it coming, but Dijak just shows up on Impact and Hurls has got it in the bag the whole time? That'd be pretty legit. And then we could shut up we'd actually have to stop ribbing Hurls and actually start praising the guy and be like, okay, Hurls, you're God.
Dude, at some point, Dixie Carter is going to show up on WWE TV. Oh, wait a minute. That already happened. Dixie Carter showed up on the fucking WWE Network before Donovan Dijak on Impact TV. I think he's lost this one. All right? It's wrestling. It happens.
As I never thought of it that way, but yeah, burn you. Hurls, man. Like, hell froze over before your prediction was right, buddy.
Hurls, we love you, buddy. At the same point, we love you like a brother. If we didn't love you, we wouldn't be talking about you.
So, we talked about Dixie Carter, mentioned tweets. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I just thought it was funny. So EC3 replied to a tweet to Kurt Angle today and asked if he was his nephew. So there was a storyline going on in WWE where Kurt Angle had some huge reveal. Some huge reveal that was going to change his career and his life. So EC3, hey, were you screwing Dixie Carter? Am I your nephew? Kind of a tweet. I thought that was hilarious. I want to get that mentioned. But did you guys hear, it's one of the American Alpha guys, African-American guy, is they're saying that it's Kurt Angle's illegitimate son now on WWE. Because that Angle, for one, didn't fail with Vince and Hornswoggle and Mr. Anderson. But, that whole Rocky Khan thing, I mean, that was only 10 years ago. It's not too believable there, WWE. But just quality programming from the number one. That's all I got. I just wanted to make sure this got on the air. I don't know if any of you guys want to say anything about it, but I just wanted to make sure that this got pointed out.
I don't watch WWE, but I suspect Kurt Angle's got at least one or two illegitimate kids running out there. So who knows?
Yeah, the one thing that WWE got right is Kurt Angle likes black girls. So at least they got something right with the whole storyline. But it was terrible. I want to talk about that company, but it was terrible. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think he's lacking about two of the three eyes there. If this is the case for it's intelligence and integrity you're missing there, but he's got that intensity. Kurt's all beating it up. But look, speaking of lacking integrity, so guys, the details on how much the Hardy thing was going for. So, some info came out, and apparently they were going to settle, but Ed Nordholm hasn't signed off on it because Ed is a fucking boss. Basically, so the words that have came out, and this was through Sports Illustrated, was that Jeff was offered a lucrative deal while Matt was only offered a smaller portion of what he'd been making. He was promised a spot on the creative team, which was rescinded by Jeff Jarrett. Thanks. Not every tag team gets buried. Basically, I'm just trying to say exactly what it says here. Matt wrote on Twitter that if Jarrett and Impact and Ed Nordholm didn't settle, soon it was going to get terribly nasty, and they have lots to expose. So basically, they were close to an agreement where the Hardys would have paid $10,000 to $15,000 for the rights to the trademark. It noted that the non-disparagement clause that Reby mentioned was a $1,000 fine for the first offense and $5,000 for each following violation. Basically, if Reby were to fucking talk shit or mention GFW, it would be a $1,000 fine at first, and then everything following would be $5,000. They could probably make $1 million that way in a couple of weeks. So according to the report, Anthem wanted 50% of the Hardys' revenue, which would include Jeff's art and music, which I think is fucked up. The Hardys apparently saw it as a monumental heist and money grab. It was noted that if GFW is looking to use the Broken gimmick to profit off of DVDs and merchandise or a digital series on the Broken Hardys, it'd be difficult to pull off because the Hardys would not endorse the products and would encourage fans to boycott buying them. Truthfully, on the other end, your GFW fan base kind of would boycott it too, so it's probably not the best idea. But so there's the details, man. GFW dude, thoughts?
The way I read it, Matt and Jeff seemed to think that they were going to get the rights to the gimmick for $10,000 to $15,000. All the money that they got paid while they were there, and they think they're going to buy the rights to the gimmick back for $10,000 to $15,000. A couple things here. First of all, I think it just goes to show that they're admitting that they don't own it, or why would they offer to pay for it? That's the first thing that I think. The second thing that I think is that it's ridiculous they would sell it for such a minimal amount of money, that there's absolutely going to be royalties. And if you read what Nordholm said that, royalties have been going on in the music business and the media business for years and years. It's just not in the wrestling business for some reason. And that's because there's a monopoly. Vince owns everything, so Vince going to keep everything. He can, so he does. We shouldn't hate him for it. We got plenty of other reasons to hate him, but that's not one reason. So, at any rate, it is very customary for them to take a percentage of the profits. Now, what a proper percentage of the profits here is a different story. I don't know that it's 50%, right? I mean, it's like now we're partners on everything you do, and gimmicks, they don't last forever. So, maybe that's to be why you're under the gimmick. But the way I look at it is, as far as Jeff's artwork and music are concerned, if Jeff is more popular because of that gimmick, and he's selling music because of that gimmick, and he's selling artwork, which, face it, he's not, because of that gimmick, then, yeah, they're absolutely entitled to that because they're doing his marketing for him that's allowing him to sell it. So I don't have any problem at all with them reaching out and say they want profits. I'm not sure 50% is legit, maybe 25%. I mean, look, I'm not in that business. That's not my cup of tea. So I don't know what's standard, but it doesn't seem unreasonable that they would ask for a percentage. But I'll admit, you do all the work and I'm going to take half the profit. Does seem maybe a little bit unrealistic.
Let me talk about this for a sec. One thing that I have noticed for quite a while is that the Hardyz have a lot of journals, a lot of journalists who happen to be their fans. That's why we, myself included, got fooled into believing that the Hardyz were bringing new eyes into the Impact program, when in reality, in the real world, the ratings were down and the new regime has already surpassed all of those numbers except for the final deletion one. With that being said, I don't buy that Sport Illustrated story as a whole. As for the $15,000, that is plausible, right? But as for the Jeff Hardy music and artwork, that sounds too crazy to be true, because we as fans know that Jeff Hardy is a best friend with Jeff Jarrett. Therefore, I don't think Jeff Jarrett will sign up on something as ludicrous as that. And the reason number 2 would be that obviously Jeff Hardy is the most popular of the two of them. And if you could recruit some of those Jeff Hardy fans to fight the Matt Hardy and Rey Hardy fight for them, obviously doing that would highly benefit Rey and Matt Hardy. As for the whole thing, I'm tired of hearing about it. Matt Hardy is a wealthy individual. If he has enough money, go ahead and buy it. Don't be using fans to carry your weight for you. You are a rich individual. Go ahead. If you truly believe in that gimmick, put that money down. I think that is all I have to say about the broken stuff. Go ahead, Raven.
I mean, look, one thing, I don't know, I want to put this out on the air, too, in case some people didn't see it, but FK9 on Twitter a while back, he, found some, anime cartoon or some shit that clearly was made before 2016, but there's legitimately a dude throwing his arm to the side and going, delete, 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 delete. Someone should send that over to Ed Nordholm and stuff, because, that may just kind of nip this whole thing in a bud, to be honest. I'm not too sure Matt Hardy watches a lot of anime, but, it was pretty fucking clear that was the exact same goddamn thing that they were doing. Look, man, 10 to 10.
It was a direct freaking steal, buddy. It was a direct freaking steal. He hit the nail on the head with that shit.
Yeah. I mean, we need to get this out to Ed. Fuck the Hardys, for real. No, actually, Jeff's cool. But, fuck Matt. Fuck Revy. I'm sick of this.
Okay.
I mean, dude.
I would. I mean, I'd fuck Revy. Why you wouldn't?
I guarantee she'd be wild and crazy. $10 to $15,000
for at least a few minutes.
Yeah, that's true. If the RIV's drinking, yeah, I can last a little bit. Man, dude. So look, $10,000 to $15,000 for that shit. I mean, give me a fucking break. Like that's such a small amount. And like they're bickering over that. I mean, Ed, yeah, hold them for ransom, man. Fuck all that. 10 to 15 G's, that's nothing for them. What is that really going to benefit your business for if that's all you want? It just doesn't make sense. You know, the DVD sale, you know, like a lot of people already fucked that out boycott thing. You know, the Hardyz will say don't buy it. And truthfully, you know, like on the other side, a lot of us, we're kind of like, no, fuck it, we won't buy it because we don't want to support the Hardyz. You know, like that shit's kind of overdone. And truthfully, we all watched JB and Abyss and Joseph Park and Scott Steiner and Josh Matthews blow that thing out of the water. The only thing, really the last couple things I have to say is, I mean, Rebby talked about how she kept her mouth shut and whatnot. Bitch, you have to keep your mouth shut because we all saw at Slammiversary, you really don't have that big of a leg in the or a horse in the race. But look, they said that the WWE doesn't want to buy the Broken Brilliance character thing or whatever. Of course not. But the Hardys will buy it, and then they'll let WWE fucking trademark it and make a fortune off that. If anyone thinks that the Hardys are in the right and WWE isn't going to trademark this shit, you are fucking stupid. And you need to pay attention to history of wrestling. Go read a few books or something. They're going to screw everyone over. Look, we saw what JB can do. And, you know, truthfully, like, we've seen JB just come out and be the guy about it. We saw what he's done. The Hardys don't have a leg in the race. There's that cartoon out there. Ed Nordholm, fuck them. Hold them for ransom. If they want this, make them pay out the ass. If not, fuck them. Hold it hostage. Anything else you guys want to say? That's just my thoughts.
I wish tomorrow at the conference someone will ask Jeremy Borash about the whole Broken deal. That will truly put the final nail into this whole non-controversy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if Borash should be able to legally say anything, but I mean, when we talk about common sense, there's clearly a common sense reason that the Hardys tried to take JB and bring him to WWE with them on their way out. But, you know, we talk about who Mr. TNA is all the time, you know, or whatnot, dude. Can we like all come to the agreement that maybe it's not Abyss or James Storm, but actually Mr. TNA is Jeremy Borash himself? Just saying.
And Mr. What? I think we need to
would have been Mr.
TNA. Well, okay, because it's really Mr. GFW now, and that's a pretty easy answer, right?
True.
It said Nordholm.
I mean, like NWA turned to WWE.
It's the guy that bought the company and saved it. It said Nordholm.
True. Good old Ed. But we talked about Ed, man, and I want to point this out. I wanted to actually do this last week, but I wanted to wait until I had the GFW dude on here. So Ed owns Fight Network, or Anthem owns Fight Network, right? Now, Fight Network has this show on the radio called The Law, which is live audio wrestling. And anyone that has those, I need you to take 3 minutes of your time, and I want you to get on YouTube, and I want you to search In Defense. It's DEFENCE, because these retards over there actually don't know how to spell proper English. In Defense with a C of Impact Wrestling. Now, you would think it's going to be positive about this company, but it's not. They're actually shitting on TNA. It's still TNA at the time. Then they don't have good wrestlers. They don't have good talkers. Someone calls in to actually bring up Eli Drake, and literally the hosts are screaming over the top of this guy, like complete chat, like the WWE fanboys that hate Impact. The impression that we get from them, just the babiness, like it's absolutely everything in this video. However, these people, like Andre Corbell brought this up on Twitter, but these people are actually getting paid by Anthem through Fight Network, and they're shitting all over the product that they own, and making, you know, like crapping all over it, doing the WWE thing. I need you guys to go, and I want you to hear this video because it absolutely makes me sick. But look, here's the campaign we're going to watch. Would you rather have those people on Fight Network getting paid by Ed Nordholm and Jeff Jarrett and all that by Anthem to shit on their product, or would you rather have, I don't know, someone like some real handsome dudes like a GFW dude, RAV, Old Wrestling Rob, Hurls, Chef, Kyle, FK9? Would you rather have the Heelcast on there representing and actually keeping it honest and real? and giving like positive, honest feedback for Impact, because we don't pull punches. If something sucks, we'll say it sucks. What do you guys think?
You know what, Raven Effect, if you think about it, the Heelcast kind of is the GFW of the podcast world, because we bring in folks from everywhere and bring them together. Do you know what I'm saying? We are that hub. We are that GFW hub. Now, I mean, we'd have to tone it down, Raven Effect. You'd have to cut out dick jokes. You know, we'd have a tough time bringing Hurls on the program, particularly if we had Kyle on. But I definitely think that we could do it, and I definitely think that we could represent, you know, in a very positive but productive way. You know, absolutely. I think it's a great idea.
I used to listen to a lot of the live audio wrestling back in the day, and I happened to tune in into the Slammiversary review that they did right after the show, and it sounded like a funeral. Why? Because after all the BS they talk about Impact, they talk about GFW, they ended up having to swallow it. I am all for the law having at least one show that covers Impact Wrestling, because they have like 6 or 7 different podcasts, but none of them cover Impact Wrestling, and that is ludicrous. It is not that you have to have like a propaganda style of podcast on the Fight Network, but at least one. I think that would be more than fair to, first, the audience who is there to listen to every single wrestling, to hear us talk about every single wrestling federation without that attack and bias. The way they attacked that fan, that was ludicrous, was uncalled for, and it was hostile. But at the end of the day, that fan ended up being on the right side of history, because Slammiversary 15 delivered, and it delivered big time. Go ahead, Raven Effect.
No doubt, man. Look, it disgusts me. It does. And it makes me so much more mad that FightNet is actually paying these people money. Like, this is no money ploy. We do this shit for fucking free. We do. And we are the GFW because we bring in everyone. And the fact is, everyone wants to do the Heelcast. Well, okay, look, we'll lose half of our audience cutting out dick jokes if we have to. But look, everyone loves to do the Heelcast. We're fun. We give it to you real. I mean, look, we've got big time people like Big Ray's giving us a stamp of approval, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm asking all of you, and I will never ask shit from you guys again. I won't. Because, one, you fail me. But, two, look, I want you to tweet Ed Nordholm, at Nordholm, at Fight Network. It's FIGHTNETWRK, and at Real Jeff Jarrett. I want you to tweet them, and I want you to say, fire the law, hire the Heelcast, or something along those lines. Yeah. Just do that.
And you know what, guys? I'm going to throw this out right now. If Ed Nordholm wants to sit down the next set of tapings or even before then, I will fly out. I will sit down with him off the record, off tape, off everything else, tell him exactly what we're about, exactly who we are, and set the record straight for exactly what kind of product he could expect out of the Heelcast on his network. And that's straight from the dude.
That's right. That's the business side, and our, our only conscience we have is it's all in the GFW dude.
Sadly, that's the problem. Yes.
Probably. Have you guys seen half the shit that goes on in these chat windows sometimes? I mean, it's that thing. This is our morals and our standards. But here's the other thing I want to say, man. Look, fuck these pussies. Like, fuck these guys. I will say this right now. I will never go onto their show because I'm not going to have someone mute me and put me on blast to where I can't talk back for myself. But I will challenge any of them to come take me on one-on-one on the air. They can talk and hate on GFW and praise their WW, and I'll throw it back in their face, and I will win this fucking debate. Or they can come on 2-on-2, 2-on-3, whatever you want to do, and we will line you up, and we will beat your asses. If you want to hate on Impact and you think you got it because it's so easy to bash on GFW, Impact, whatnot, come on, be a man, step up, and have some real fucking competition, and you can't use your little pussy mute buttons. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, and all that stuff is coming from one of the guys, and one guy who is like the big head honcho there, and his name, by the way, if you're looking for who it is called Dan the mouth. Lobransky, I don't know why a grown man would be proud of his mouth, but that is not here or there. So go ahead, Raven. I don't want to talk about these people. Please.
All right. Yeah, we're going to move on. But look, the other thing I'm going to say, man, look, listeners, tweet it to them. I don't even give a shit if it doesn't get us on the air with them or whatever. I'm not looking to try to make money, but look, we need to get them off the air. We're talking about getting impact in your network. We're talking about gaining an audience. We're talking about trying to keep this company afloat. It's disgusting that FightNet and Anthem are paying people to actually batten out their product to tell people not to tune in. So do it for GFW Impact Wrestling if no one else. But look, let's move on. We did have the highest rated episode of the year again. It beat last week. Things are on the up. I'm not going to talk about ratings other than a congratulations, because we got a time limit on this show, and plenty to talk about, especially next. So if anyone has anything to say about the ratings other than a congratulations, keep up the good work. Step up and go for it.
I don't. Congratulations and keep up the good work, guys.
Robert, you saying something, sir?
No, that's good. I am happy to hear that news, and I want them sooner rather than later to broke that final deletion number, which is worth 10K. So hopefully, before Bound for Glory, Impact is able to beat that number. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And look, when we get Mysterio on the bald A double back, we're going to break that Bound for Glory record. We're going to get it going. Guys, look, here's the big news story. I think it was the day after we recorded last week. The news broke. There was a domestic dispute incident, whatever you want to call it, between Alberto El Patron and Paige. The media and TMZ and all that can call him Alberto Del Rio still all they want, and mention these with the WWE. But look, our champion of this company is involved in an incident with his significant other. I'm not going to call it domestic violence yet because the information is not out, but we have our heavyweight champion is suspended, the guy that they're pushing as the top face of the company. We're going to break this down into 4 segments, and I'm going to start with Robert on this one. But look, he's been suspended. Rob, you think that this is the right move?
I think it was the only move for this moment. I think I know the law works that if you even the accusation of something doesn't mean that you're guilty, but obviously it's gonna look back on you, and it's gonna look back on the product that you, by being the champion you represent. As for editing Alberto Patron out of episodes, I think that would be something kind of hard to do unless you start using all footage, especially from Destination X, with like 6 to 7 weeks in the future, so you can use that time to fill it with that. But obviously you're gonna leave LAX out of being in TV, and that actually might hurt the ratings. Hopefully all of this gets resolved. Oh, by the way, AAA is having Triple Mania later in the summer, and they're going to use the GFW champion. They haven't announced, obviously, who it is, but Alberto might be assuming, and they are not going to be happy by having someone who is guilty being there on AAA pay-per-view. So hopefully all those things get resolved. If not, take the title away from him and put it on someone else. There are plenty of talent in Impact that can carry that goal with pride. Go ahead.
GFW, dude, your thoughts on this one? Was it the right move to suspend him?
I'm going to ask a few questions here, and these answers are the answers that you're going to give are going to probably sum it up. Let me ask you a question, Raven Effect. Let's talk about Alberto Del Rio's deal with TNA. How do you think he's getting paid and when? El Patron. Alberto El Patron. Y'all got me saying it now. Smack me for that.
And you said TNA. Said TNA. GFW dude.
That's right. Okay, so let's talk about his deal. How do you think it works in GFW? How do you think his deal works?
He probably is the highest paid guy on that roster.
Right, but how do you think he gets paid? Do you think he gets paid per appearance? Do you think he gets paid when TV shows air? Or do you think he gets a monthly salary?
I think he gets a salary, or I don't think he's necessarily getting PPA. I would say a lot of them are, but I don't think he's PPA. I think they paid him to lock him up.
So you think they paid him to lock him up, okay? And you think that he's probably getting appearance? My guess is he's probably getting paid per appearance with a salary too. That's my guess. Okay, he's probably getting both. Do you think that they're not going to pay him while he's suspended when he hasn't been guilty of anything? Or that they're going to keep paying him? And what do you think it would do to you, this top talent you wanted to lock up, if you paid him and he wasn't even guilty, you didn't pay him, and you held his payment back? I think we can safely assume that he's not going to be missing $1 out of his paycheck because of this. Okay? I think it's a very safe assumption because my guess is it's probably incentive-laden, and he probably has a stipend as well. Okay? But they're not going to cut his pay because what message does that send to him? What message does it send to the rest of the roster? Now, when is the next time that they're going to have a show come out? Because they didn't take him off the air because that would just be worse for the brand, right? And it actually would be a disaster just to try to fix. They're not taking him off TV. And when's their next set of tapings? A couple more weeks still, right? How long do you think this investigation is going to go on? Think it's going to go on past that time? Or do you think it'll all be wrapped up? It'll be wrapped up.
That's what I say.
I mean, this is the easiest investigation of all time, right? They're investigating him. She's saying nothing happened. If you don't have the quote-unquote victims, help, you're not getting anything anyway. It doesn't matter whether he did anything, he gets off. This is the way that these domestic violence things work. They don't press charges 90% of the time. They walk. He's getting off. They know this. So what do? They're going to say, let's suspend him. The suspension is meaningless, and everybody on the Internet's debating the suspension. I think I can't believe everybody is debating this. There's nothing to debate. He's only quote-unquote suspended, folks. He's not actually suspended. He's getting paid, and he's not going to miss any TV appearances unless he's actually found guilty, in which case, okay, then they're just going to drop him altogether. Okay? So what are they doing? They're covering themselves, okay, by saying he's suspended, but they're going wink, wink, nod, nod. We know you're going to be at the next set of tapings because something's going to happen. That's all it is. To me, is it the right thing to do? Absolutely. They look good. They're pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. It's a absolutely simple. I know that they talked about there was debate about what to do and what not to do, and maybe there was, and maybe there wasn't. But this is such a no-brain decision that I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
Look, I look at, and I know it's a different regime, but like I said, I mean, the last regime, when it came out with Bram, who turned out to be innocent, I mean, they suspended Bram right away. You can't treat everyone, you can't treat people differently. I mean, look, I understand Alberto's value compared to Bram's, but you have to do it. And look, if GFW wants to be considered legit, and like a big time thing, I mean, look at the NFL, look at all the shit that the NFL goes through with this. UFC, Anthony Rumble Johnson had something along those lines, and they suspended him. And look, all he did was grab a girl's mat and throw it across the cage there, or threw it across the gym. There was talk with his woman, but it wasn't the case. The WWE would probably do it too. Look, I've heard people talking about boycotting Impact because of what's going on. I've seen some insane person say to boycott Impact, and he's a fan, because Alberto's a victim of a feminist society or some shit along those lines. Just shut the fuck up with trying to boycott anything. This company does not need anyone boycotting shit. Tune in and be a loyal fan. No one's actually sure what happened, and that's the stuff that bothers me. Look, people are asking if it should be mentioned. Look, we've heard the audio, and we don't know what happened. Okay, they shouldn't mention it because what are you saying? Alberto attacked his girlfriend. She attacked him. We've heard her say, that, or we've heard on this audio that it was him, or it was her hitting him. That there's some stuff involved there. I mean, there's rumors of cocaine use. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what people are saying. it's why bring it up? Do you guys think it should have been mentioned on the air? That's one thing that I want to get out here, because I see this debate going crazy.
Yeah, let me go. So, for mentioning, I don't think, unless he's guilty and you cannot, write him up off TV and, bleach him out of the TV, I don't think it should be mentioned at all. As for the boycott, those are silly people. Obviously, there are people doing boycotts ever since the Hardyz left, and you see how productive those have been. As for the cocaine, let me talk about this for a second, because that actually managed to piss me off. If you do any type of search, just ask anyone who has ever worked with any type of drugs. They will tell you that cocaine is only on the body. The half-life of cocaine is about 30 minutes, and you can only find him, someone who test positive, only 4 days after they did it. As long as that threshold, the person will appear to be negative. How likely is for someone in GFW to find a wrestler being positive on one of the tapings? It is basically 0 to none, because the person can easily stop using it 5 days before the taping, and he will appear to be clean. Number 2, let's talk about this, because they were also claiming that Age or Alberto had cocaine on their backpacks and all the other conspiracy theories, right? If they were carrying their own drugs, that means that those type of drugs that they are using, if that is true, right? Those are not the regular type of drugs. Those are not street drugs. So how likely are even those to show up positive? That whole thing and topic managed to piss me off about, because of the pure ignorance on the topic, and people opening up their mouth with their Facebook like chemistry degree or something. It just managed to piss me off. Go ahead.
Look, I was actually going to share some of my personal experiences on the show, but look, we're running out of time because we got to keep this one a little bit shorter because we're timed on this. And so, look, I'm going to go to GFW Dude. I'm going to ask him if he has any thoughts on this real fast, and then I'm going to go, and then we're going to have to hop into the show so we don't get cut off and lose it. But GFW Dude, anything else that you feel you want to get out here on the air?
Yeah, first of all, when it comes to drug abuse, I don't think that we should be really talking too much about it. It's not something that we know for sure. It's not something that's been confirmed. And, I'd hate to paint any kind of a cloud over God that may not be accurate. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, right? We don't know. As far as things that bother me, look, do I want somebody on my TV set who I know is a cocaine addict? No, I don't want to watch them, right? So as far as I'm concerned, if you are, get off the screen, right? I'm that kind of a person. But at the same point in time, Impact Wrestling, these guys, they tape once a month, okay? As long as they're not high and doing anything while they're potentially hurting somebody else on the show, if they want to do it 2 or 3 weeks in advance of a show, I don't think that Impact Wrestling is responsible for what they're doing there. They're there once a month for a week. While they're there, yeah, if they're doing it, you're fired. You're done, because you're not just on company time, but you could hurt somebody. These people, they put their lives in their own hands. If I'm a talent, I don't want to work with somebody that's known to do it, because I never know when they're going to shoot up. I don't think it's possible to do cocaine once a month. And I have a feeling listeners are probably already typing that into the YouTube chat window as we speak. But my point is Impact Wrestling's only responsible for them while they're there. Okay? That even said, I don't want them on the TV screen either. But again, we don't know what they do, what those two do or don't do, and it's not any of our business, really, honestly, to be talking about it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's not our business. there's some stuff that I feel I could have, used analytically, but it's not our business. Not only we're running out of time, but it's not our business. And we don't know for sure if that's the truth or not. And, look, I'm going to sum this up, and I'm sorry because we got to get going. But, look, we've got I've heard people saying that the show should be changed. No, there's nothing proven either way. They can't change the show. Do you not remember what happened with Hernandez? The business decision-wise, they did the right thing. They cannot change and edit their shows. They can't bring everyone back to the Impact Zone and take 2 fucking weeks of shows. Look, I will say this, though, man. One thing I'm proud about, we did kind of warn them on the show. Look, and I said this myself. No one else said it because I don't want anyone else to have this burden on them. But I said, look, when they brought him in, all the stuff that was going on, I said, it kind of sounds like substance abuse. And, there's a rumor now, but that's not the case. But, look, I don't think Drew Galloway or Bully Ray, if they would have gotten this contract that Alberto did, I don't think they would be the champion right now. I don't think they would have main evented Slammiversary. I think this guy was given this spot because of who he is. And what we tried to say on the show was don't jump and get him all this right away because you got to make sure this guy can prove stuff to himself. He's done a lot of good, but, look, there's an incident. It's a toxic fucking relationship, whether he's guilty or not, a toxic relationship. It's terrible news. I have been in one or had been in one for 6 years of my life. There is nothing really good that comes out of it. I've seen cage site speak. I try to pull up these to get the Impact results, and I see them just shitting and I can't believe that someone would tune in. We're having so much trouble watching knowing that there's a known woman beater on the show here, and this would never happen in the WWE. I want to tell you, for one, you don't know shit. 2, we don't know shit. 3, it did happen in the WWE. Vince McMahon actually tried to pay Deborah to shut her up and not come out about Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they paraded him on TV as the top guy. So I want to put that shit to bed right now. Anyone that wants to say WWE is so much better than Impact and GFW and the criticisms they're getting in that aspect, that needs shut down. Look, you have another thing you got to say, man. If this isn't resolved by August 17th, they've got to start. Yeah.
Yeah, let me break. This is a kind of a breaking news as we are recording right now. There is a picture on Twitter with Karen Jarrett and Rey Mysterio in Nashville, and apparently he was on Nashville and he was offered a contract. So there is breaking news even on the Hill. Oh shit, you're getting your money.
Yeah, my understanding from what I read earlier is that he actually left there with a contract in hand. I don't know that it was signed, but he's there for the WWE tapings. And he met with WWE folks, but he had already met with GFW during the day. So they put a contract in his hand. It's up to him whether he wants to sign it or not.
Yeah.
Well,
so he's having selfies with Karen Jarrett and stuff like that. So
people can hate on Karen Jarrett all she wants. She already had a bunch of and Dixie were left happen. Look, this is the last topic I just want to bring up on this Alberto thing. Look, if this is not resolved and the suspension is still on, look, August 17th, there's a live show. And that's when the real dilemma comes up. Look, I've read the spoilers. I know GFW Dude has as well. We're not going to talk spoilers on this show by any means, but look, he's got a title defense that night. And I'll be honest, it's not the guy that they should put the belt on if they're going to have him come on the show and job and put someone over and drop the belt. I think there's a loophole with the number 1 contender match on there that they'll probably go with if they have to do that. But the other thing, it's either that or they just come out and say, look, we suspended our champ and our title's vacant. That's the real dilemma right now. And we do need to move on, but I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in real quick and make it quick. But GFW Dude, anything?
I could see him. I could see him doing a job. I'm not as against that as you are.
To the guy he's facing now? Like, what do you see?
Yeah. Yes. If it's what I remember reading, I could see it. Oh, I'm not a fan of the person?
No, you're not.
Then I didn't read. Then it's not who I think it is because I'm a big fan of the person I thought it was. Oh, you're right. It's not that person. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, that's not a world champion that you put the belt on, you know. Rob,
yeah, you're right. That's not who I was thinking, buddy. That's not who I was thinking.
Yeah. So, Rob, look, if we came down August 17th and this show isn't resolved, what would you do if you were GFW?
Yeah, if it's not resolved, I would change the title. I know the person, blah, 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 and I read the spoilers. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about that because I respect this audience. And I love each and every one of you listening all the way through. We are almost an hour in. So let me put my thoughts. Yeah, okay. So I would change the title, obviously. It doesn't matter. Change the title, and we could have later down the card do another title change. Even though that might be seen as meaningless, and you're hot-potating the title, but it doesn't matter. It would be the best advice possible. Just take the title off of Alberto because he might even get into worse type of trouble in the near future.
Yeah. All right. So, look, you got our perspective as much as we can actually say right now. So, look, let's jump into Impact because we got about 40 minutes before this thing cuts off and we have no more show left. So Impact kicks off. We got LAX in the clubhouse. Basically, they're saying that, they're going to make Alberto pay and whatnot for turning down LAX. We're not going to talk that right now because basically we'll talk that in the end. But look, there was also the show started off with Joseph Parks saying that Grado was possibly going to get deported. The president wanted to deport him and whatnot. So look, the goal for them is to try and get Grado hitched to one of the knockouts. Have him marry one of the knockouts. Say what you want, man, and I've definitely said what I've wanted in the past, but I will say these segments were pretty damn funny to me. I assume JB's part of it. I think Joseph Parks, the character he's doing now, the stuff that they're doing, I was not a fan of Joseph Parks at first years ago. I'm liking it now. This was pretty funny. I think the Braxton Sutter part may have actually been part of a storyline, although, you know what, man, if any good guy would still be pissed off if someone came up and tried to ask his wife to marry him. But look, Rob, did you actually enjoy these skits with Grado trying to get with the knockouts? We'll talk 401 later.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Grado fan, but his performance and Joseph Park's performance this Thursday was on point. Go ahead, Raven.
We'll just go to GFW, dude.
Well, you know I'm going to like it. I mean, I like Grado. I find them refreshing. I find them funny. I like these backstage skits. They're a break from the monotony of watching wrestling matches. We all love wrestling matches. We all love five-star wrestling matches, but we all also love the comedy breaks in between, and we love the serious, storylines too. So this is all great stuff. And Grado's legitimately like hysterical, and so is Joseph Parks. You put them together. I mean, did you guys see the sign on Joseph Parks' car? By the way, did you see that? Because I had to pause it and then kind of squint to make it out. You know what it said?
I missed it.
A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge. Law offices of Parks, and Parks. It's hysterical stuff. I mean, they even have the car decorated, but they don't make it a point to make it too clear on the screen. The whole thing is awesome. Right down to talking about how he got the car from, I think it was his grandfather, and 3 more payments, and it's paid off. It's just funny stuff. And it's not to be taken seriously, but that's not the point either. So just kick back and enjoy it and laugh along.
Definitely. So look, something that wasn't a laughing matter, we had the Super X Cup. Man, I was impressed with it. It started off kind of slow to me and kind of disappointed me, but towards the end it really picked up. ACH, my man, getting the pinfall victory off another guy I'm a really big fan of, Andrew Everett. All I can say, man, is I think this was I don't think that this would have been the match choice that would have went in the first round, but I think the right person probably went over. They mentioned Ring of Honor, New Japan. It was cool to see that they did that. They mentioned a guy who cashed in option C hitting that brainbuster. I'm really not going to speak on this one, man. I'm going to let it. We'll go to GFW, dude, on your thoughts on this one.
I've been a fan of ACH going back to Ring of Honor. I think he's fantastic in the ring. He had a program with Matt Seidel, which was just awesome in Ring of Honor. Anybody that watches Ring of Honor knows that. If you haven't, check out the videos. It was absolutely great stuff. Where ACH lacks his character, we saw it last week where he had that huge smile on his face you guys made fun of. I'm right there with you. I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. They also made it a very strong point to bring him out of an independent in the Chicago area, if I remember correctly, where they're trying to maybe promote that independent and say that he came from there. So that was great. I'm looking forward to ACH and Impact Wrestling. I think that he's going to add a great X Division style. Definitely still needs to work on the character development, but that seems to come with these guys when they've been around for a while. And quite frankly, they need to put him and Matt Sydal in the ring together at some point because those two guys are gold.
Rob, your thoughts on ACH getting the win over Andrew Everett?
Yeah, good match. I like both of the guys, but still my money is still with Xavier, Desmond Xavier, or to win the Super X Cup. Go ahead.
All right, well, yeah, I mean, that's about all I got there. I actually thought maybe mention that indie or whatever may have been just a way to bypass the fact that he was in NXT for a little bit there. But, yeah, I'm very excited about ACH, and if that guy's not signed, that's a huge mistake. Look, we had the Gail Kim announcement, which was to FK9's happiness that this will be the last year we will see Gail Kim in Impact. So Gail is going to hang it up, retire at the end of the year. Look, I want to say that there's so much hate. It seems it's almost 50-50 sometimes on Gail, and our boy FK9 is probably the ringleader of it. But, man, the thank you Gails and seeing the real tears in the fans in the eyes of some of those fans out there, I mean, that was just awesome stuff. I'm a fan of Gail. It'll be sad to see her go. If she goes out as a champ, I'm completely fine with that 100%. I'd like to think she'll put over Rosemary or Allie on her way out. But thank you, Gail. I'm ready to see where this ride goes. It's sad to see her go, but greatest women's wrestler of all time, in my opinion. This was a company that put women's wrestling on the map and stopped making it look like a joke and bra and panties matches, just selling sex. And Gail was number one in that. So that's all I have to say, and I'm going to go to GFW Dude and let you say your thoughts on it, my friend.
Sorry, having trouble getting the mute button off. So,
gotcha.
Count's probably already left 10 comments, and they're probably just covering Grado, right? But here's the deal, Count. When you've had my week, and trust me, it's been the week from hell, as Raven Effect can attest to, you're just going to keep zinging them out there. So here's my thing on Gail Kim. She was the most over talent in the Impact Zone. I mean, no doubt. I mean, they were just screaming for the top of their lungs. She's a living legend, and the fans respect that. And quite frankly, you know, if I'm Brock Lesnar or John Cena, I don't know who's at the top of WWE, and somebody tells me that WrestleMania is coming up, I want you to have one last match with Hulk Hogan or one last match with Ric Flair. And you're going to drop the belt so they can finally retire as champion. Now, look, I realize neither one of those guys should be back in the ring, probably physically able to get back in the ring. And sure as heck is never actually going to retire if they can wrestle, right? But I'm looking at that and I'm going, man, this is a no-lose proposition. I go out, I make that guy look like the superstar they used to be, and the fans are going to remember it, and they're going to remember me for life. Gail Kim is no different than that. If I'm Rosemary and Gail Kim is going to beat me for the title on her last day and keep it, I'm okay with it. She helped put me here through her hard work. I respect that. I respect Gail Kim. And quite frankly, the fans are going to be so forgiving of her because I'm going to be giving the fans what they want. So everybody talks about Gail needs to put people over on their way out. Trust me. If they work to put Gail over on Gail's way out, it will come back 100-fold. So not only do I have a problem with it, I mean, I'd support it 100%, and I suspect the talent would agree with that. Count's not going to agree with that, but I strongly suspect that the talent would go right along with it.
Rob, anything on this? Rob, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, right now.
All right.
So I would love to see Gail Kim at least having one match with Ali. So they have to hurry up with that whole Braxton Sutter, CNI, and everybody else's storyline and wrap it up. I want to see her against Ali, against Rosemary, obviously. And I would love to see Gail Kim and Robert Irvine doing at least one match together because I think that could draw a couple of people because of how popular his Cook show used to be. So those are 3 matches that I would like to see before Gail Kim hangs her boot, at least on Impact Wrestling. But by the way, I would love her to be the agent of the Knockout. I don't want to see her return back to the WWE. No. You were someone your career was revitalized here on Impact, and you should stay here and help the next generation here on Impact Wrestling. That is something which Impact Wrestling has managed to drop the ball time and again. Why the hell would we have to get people to train or Impact guys from other places, like, let's say, the former WWE employees like Sugar Shane Helms, when we had a ring general like Christopher Daniels that should be the one training or the next generation of that. But that is a conversation for another day. Go ahead.
No problem. Look, I'm just going to say the Robert Irvine thing. Look, I don't want to see the guy in the ring, but you do make a good point. It may attract some viewers. And the way they book KM, I'm sure KM and Sienna against Gail and Robert Irvine, KM may eat that pin to Robert Irvine himself. But it maybe put in some demographics. Look, yeah, I've heard that the rumor is she wants to start a family, so I don't know if that's going to make her have time to be an agent because it's kind of the same taping schedule, but I don't think she'll actually go back to WWE if that is the case. So, like, then we have this segment with these, yeah, I'm going to talk real briefly on this because I really don't have shit to say, but Chris Adonis I don't want to see on TV, but guys I want to see on TV even less, these Swolemate guys. Apparently Adonis, after the roid thing, doesn't look like those guys anymore and was pissed about it. I don't know, did he shove them or they shoved him or some shit? I don't know. It was just, why the fuck was this on TV? Why does GFW or TNA have to be the scapegoat? Like, we had to put Bigfoot and those fucking hillbillies on the air and shit to put over just the worst programming that their network puts on. That's all I have to say. I don't know if you guys even want to talk about this because we got 30 minutes left. But
moving on.
All right. Something else I wish I could move the fuck on from. Jesus Christ. What does this do, Jeff Jarrett? What does the minis or midget stuff do? So we had Damus, I don't know if it's Damus or Damus 666 against Octagon Cito. Octagon Cito won. Are you fucking kidding me? I made this joke last week because I knew this was coming on TV, but Jesus Christ, why is this happening? Nothing on Raven Effect then. Rob, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I am happy to see Octagoncito on Impact Wrestling, obviously because I grew up watching him. But however, I understand that does not translate into the mainstream audience. Therefore, having those 2 segments, which didn't manage to be a hookup for a lot of the mainstream audience back to back, was a bad idea. But I cannot argue against numbers. But it was not my case if I wanted to bring more new casual people in and more mainstream people in. Go ahead.
Raven, let me ask you a question, because you said that, you don't like this midget thing, and I'm not sure that I'm a big midget guy either, but did you think that Octagon Cito put on a good match?
I will give credit there. That is one thing I actually did plan on saying after Robert brought it up. It was actually, like, as far as that stuff goes, it's more impressive than anyone else I've probably ever seen.
So let me ask you a question. Okay? Put your computer down for a minute. How old do you think Octagon Cito is?
Rob
nobody. This is for Raven Effect. How old
I'm not
do you think he is?
I'm not going to say I think he's Jushin Thunder Liger going over half of the ROH town at like age 73, but I'm going to go maybe 50s from after just kind of what Rob said.
He's 45 years old. He's a 45-year-old man doing that stuff. Dude, I mean, I know he's 4'10", and I know it's the midget thing, but man, give the guy some love for being able to move like that at 45 in a ring. That's pretty darn impressive. That's all I got. I think his talent is actually there, and when you consider the age, and he moves better than most of the guys that are half his age, dude's got my respect. I got respect for that guy.
He's definitely better in the ring than Cher or Chris Adonis, I would say. Again, I'm not going to knock it. Look, and that guy was impressive. I will give him that credit, especially age, size, all of that. The fact of the matter, man, like, it's probably got to be pretty shitty to be a midget. It really does. They're a disadvantage. I'm not bad-mouthing them at all. I mean, that's a shitty handicap to have to deal with in your life. But look, he's a small person. He's a small person. Small person. Look, man, they've tried this in WWF. They've tried this I think they tried it in WCW. Look, it doesn't appeal. It doesn't draw. It's never going to draw. I don't know what Jeff is actually thinking is going to happen with this. It's just, I mean, dude, you're just taking time from people who will draw or will really help the company grow. And that's how I feel about it. But look, people that I do think can make the company grow, EC3 came out to do commentary for Moose and Naomichi Marufuji, Impact Grand Championship match. So, because I think this is what I think happened, because EC3 pretty much didn't say shit. He came out and said he felt like the child of divorce in between the two of them. I thought that was funny. What I actually think is how the commentators will go back and go over the show and re-commentate, do the announcement before it airs. I think they just couldn't get EC3 back. Is going to be my guess, so that's why they just went silent. But we saw EC3 come in, hit Marufuji with the belt, caused it a DQ or a no contest or whatnot. Moose got the better of him, so it seems like they're moving EC3 to a title he's better than. But I love seeing EC3 back in the suit. That is a handsome fucking man who should be the franchise and face of this company. And I think Moose was getting the better of him. I would have said Moose should have won that match had it gone. But GFW, dude, your thoughts on it?
I just hate this division. I think it's ridiculous. I keep hearing about the possibility of the next-gen title from GFW coming back soon, and I sure as hell hope it replaces this one. I sure do. I do not like EC3 in a mid-card role unless it's going to lead to a mid-card versus a world title match, right? Unification, Hogan Warrior style. Outside of that, this Grand Championship rule stuff just is lost on me. It's just news.
Rob, thoughts on that?
Yeah. What things that got my attention was the aftermath of the match, because Marufuji got caught and he looked ace as hell. So I don't know what the hell happened backstage, but he truly looked ace, especially on the YouTube content that they are adding to put more context into the show. But I'm not a big fan of having mixed match when it comes down to sizes. I like to keep my heavyweight wrestling with heavyweights and smaller guys with smaller guys. This was a good match, but some of the selling, I was not feeling it because of how big Moose is. I want to see now more of EC3 with the Grand Champion. It would be perfect if they would change the rules and make it a TV title and have a little bit of EC3, a little bit of a run with EC3 with that title. However, it all depends on what happened with El Patron. If something crazy happened with El Patron, in wrestling, you can always trust to put the belt on EC3 and everything will be back to normal and all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go with that. I just like seeing that it's kind of like the old EC3 was back. I think the guy's better than this. I think the Grand Championship division, it's got to change. Just make it a mid-card title. I like the belt itself. Definitely don't mind the name of it. I kind of like the next gen a little bit better, but according to Andre Corbeil, the next gen title is kind of ugly. I like the Grand Championship, but we'll see where this goes from here. Apparently EC3 and Moose, I'm fine with that feud as long as EC3 goes over, and that's no disrespect to Moose because he's my guy too. But all right, guys, we got 20 minutes. We got 3 matches to talk about before this thing kicks us off of the air. Trevor Lee has some fucking personality. Thanks a lot, her Helm. Trevor Lee came out. It was kind of funny coming out parading himself around as X Division champion. That he was in awe or like I think you said he was an awe or like stunned to be in the ring with such great opponent and William Weeks, his handpicked guy. I thought that was hilarious. William Weeks definitely doesn't look like he could beat up your local 13-year-old. It's a junior high, but it was funny. Sanjay comes out, attacks him afterwards. Trevor Lee escaped with the belt. It was nice to see some personality from Trevor Lee. Rob, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, really, at least he's improving Trevor Lee on the mic. I want to see more of him on the mic. The whole Sanjay Dutt thing being like outside and blah, blah, blah. I was not feeling it, but however, at least it's a storyline with the exhibition guys. So I want to see the progress. Maybe they could make me fall in love with that storyline. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see Trevor Lee, with a personality too, an actual storyline. I guess my only complaint about this is I'd like to see Andrew Everett actually give it a shot at some point. But kudos to them. They jobbed the crap out of Trevor Lee for the longest time, and now they're giving him something to do and something that hopefully can help promote the guy up the card. He's certainly done the job. It's never been anything against Trevor Lee, and always maybe just want to see what Andrew Everett can do. So I'm kind of happy for him. As far as William Weeks is concerned, oh, what an enhancement talent. That guy fit the role perfect. I mean, they might as well brought Dewey Barnes back.
Well, I mean, look, Trevor Lee might be good, but he's no Dewey Barnes. You know what I mean? I mean, no one's going to go over Dewey Barnes. That guy pretty much could change the entire X division if GFW knew what they were doing and signed the right guys. As far as knowing what they're doing, LVN has shined. She got the win over my new crush, who is Ava Story. Man, I'll be honest, this match was not very good to start off. It kind of looked a little bit sloppy. I also want to say that there were some knockouts that they showed Grado hitting on that I'm like, who the fuck is this? But, man, Ava Story, I just have a crush on her. LVN gets the win, and then we see Grado come out and try and I think he asked her out on a date, not asked her to marry him. There was a Netflix and chill chance, which was awesome. So as much as we shit on the Impact Zone, a fucking Netflix and chill, that's pretty legit. That's a new one. But look, Laurel's been shining. Looks like they're going to go in an angle with Grado trying to get hitched to LVN, who's got low standards. She's playing this character well. I mean, after the Braxton thing, Congo Kong kind of seems like to be her man. And doing it, like I said, she's really taking this too far in real life, too. I mean, she's fucking Zack Ryder. I mean, she's fucked her way to the middle. It's GFW, dude, your thoughts on this angle and match, man?
Well, you stole my thunder on Ava's story because I got to tell you that girl. If I was going to marry one of the knockouts, man, that's it right there. And that's the one, right? No doubt at all. I mean, she just is a cutie. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I like to see him maybe give her something to do. In the meantime, she can be the enhancing talent that we get to see every week. I'd be fine with that. As far as Laura Van Ness, I mean, God, you just got this girl's knocking out of the park. I mean, they gave her an opportunity with this character, and let's face it, the story arc for this character was over months ago, and yet it's still entertaining as all hell. So, you know what? Congratulations to you, Laura Van Ness. You are just absolutely rocking it out, girl. And now you're going to be with Grado for a while, and that'll give the character even more life. I mean, wow. She's doing a phenomenal job.
I enjoy that segment, especially the acting out of Laura Van Ness, Grado, Joseph Park, and also the Impact Zone crowd. So it is not the usual stuff that I enjoy, but everybody, at least at this moment, play their part, and they play it pretty well, and they have me laughing. So if that was the goal that they intended, they managed to make it happen. Go ahead, Raven.
Yeah, no problem, man. Look, I also want to backtrack and say this. I shit all over Trevor Lee last week. He's showing me a little something more. I still want to see it in the ring. I meant to say that before we went and moved on. Now, I think this could actually be funny, as bad as we've been and hard as we've been on Grado. I actually do think this has some light and potential. I think Laurel has I think it was the only one that was a runaway when we did our half-year awards. Laurel was the most improved all around, and that's strictly off character. But look, so we went to the main event. LAX had said that they were going to make Alberto El Patron pay for not accepting the offer, kind of punking him out and disrespecting him the way that he did. So he had came out and confirmed that he was not with LAX. So the tag team match was set up at the start. It was going to be Alberto with his opponent, who was supposed to be his arch rival, and Lashley. I don't know if they're going the Lashley babyface route, but they took on the tag team champions in LAX in a non-title match. How anyone would have expected LAX to win this match, I don't know what you were thinking. But look, Alberto and Lashley go over. We see the embrace between Alberto and Lashley. It's kind of like at the end, Alberto picks up the mic like he did at the end of Slammiversary and put Lashley over, but, minus the curse words and the WWE bashing, but, we talked about how he gave him the fight of his life, the embracement there, so I'm not sure if they're turning Lashley face. There's kind of a lack of what to do with Lashley right now, in my opinion, if it's not, at least as a heel. So, I guess, GFW dude, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think that Lashley's kind of run his course as the heel. I think that they need to make him the face that maybe isn't going after the face champion for a while, right? I mean, if he's the heel, he's got to keep going after the belt because that's all he's about. And there's also talk of him going back to MMA full time. My guess is that he's going to take some time off and have an MMA fight anyway. So we probably won't see him either in August or after August for the next set of tapings. Just depends on when his match plays out. So that's what I think is going on there. Who's going to win this match? I mean, yeah, duh. Dummy, yeah. LAX wasn't going over. But you know what? They were put in a spot where they had the main event role, much like they did with the K last year. And the Hardyz, they put these guys in the main event role. So that's great for the tag division, what little there is of it. So I think that's great. And I think that they're really, really, and I said this in a comment on Asylum, I think that they're going hard after the Hispanic demographic. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think anytime you're marketing to demographics. That's a demographic that fits professional wrestling fans to a T. Obviously, there's a huge market in Mexico, and you've got El Rey with with what's going on there and everything else. So I think it's smart. I think it's smart business on the part of GFW. So I think it's great all around. The match itself was what you expected. I mean, you weren't looking at it going, gee, I wonder who's going to win. Right. And, El Patron and Lashley, they weren't going to be, doing amazing moves and amazing spots. So you had some cool stuff and you had some fun spots, but this was really more about putting people in a position to move them up the card.
I enjoyed the match. It was fun, and it was quite surprising to see Bobby Lashley working as a tag team wrestler. He seems to be very pumped and having fun, and you can tell by his facial expressions. LAX is so good that they could carry having losses back to back, and that would not hurt that push or their popularity. As far as the whole global force appealing to the Hispanic demographic, I think that was obvious since they put Josh Mantel on charge, who was very successful, especially here in Puerto Rico. He was the top booker when he was writing the show. The show were packing 10,000 people at least every 3 to 4 months, something like that. And they were packing 2,000 people every single week, twice, Friday and Saturday. I want to see more of this storyline. This storyline is having a lot of success when it comes down to the ratings, and it is intriguing because they are always at least finish the episode up with a cliffhanger, something that Impact didn't used to do. So I am enjoying that storyline. I want to see more of that, and I am a happy customer. And that is the most important thing at the end of the day. I am a happy customer of Impact. Go ahead, Raven Effect.
Maybe they are trying to really reach a Hispanic demographic there. I mean, WWE tried, but let's face it, you have a fucking team of 27 white writers, and, it's no surprise that it didn't fail when Eddie passed away. And then, you started just putting it in the hands of a bunch of writers instead of letting the wrestlers be the wrestlers. what GFW has going for them to reach that market, especially if they're getting Mysterio too, man, and Alberto, not being able to be himself. But, dude, the real MVP they got there is Konnan. Konnan comes back, man, and it's fire. You bring him out with LAX, and they're fire. And that's the guy, and I'm going to talk about one thing here before we go with Konnan, and I'm going to go back to it. But, look, the only other things I want to say, man, is, you talked about, where does LAX go from here, the tag team? We don't know if there's going to be a new member. I want to see my boy Homicide come back, X Division there, or him in Kingston. But, look, LAX, man, if we're looking for some tag team competition for them, that could be legit. Let's put Seidel and ACH together as a team as well. I think that could be a short-lived, really good feud. The last thing, man, and I'm not going to be the popular belief here, but if Lashley does go to Bellator and kind of focus on MMA, I kind of prefer that, to be honest. My attachment to GFW is much bigger than it is to Bellator. But, look, I'm an MMA guy. I want to see what Lashley can do. I want to see our guy go in there and win that belt. Because, man, just his cred will go through the roof. It'll help GFW's cred go through the roof, and it'll be amazing. But, we will run the risk of losing him good or for good. But, yeah, they got to do something different with Lashley now. So here's the last thing, guys. There was some sort of tweets, and it seems like we might be Konnan and Jarrett maybe having beef, like in all actuality. So there was some on Twitter with Jarrett. I don't even know what it was, but Jarrett promoting like the AAA guys are doing some promotion, and he's putting over the AAA guys really bad. And, Konnan chimed in like, what about Crash guys? Konnan let Hurricane Helms on his podcast this past week, shit all over GFW from what I understand. So, Konnan was pretty damn cool to put his beef aside to let AAA work in GFW in the same company he was with. He's given us Garza and Laredo Kid from Crash, who I love watching, and I'd love to see them get a bigger push. But I don't know if there's much to it. But like there's been issues with Konnan in this company in the past. Jarrett was running it back then. Obviously there was Dixie, but GFW, dude, any thoughts, man? It could be absolutely nothing, but
what do you expect with Konnan? This is what he does, right? He does this to everybody. He gets pissed off and he runs his mouth. This is Konnan. I think that they knew this when they brought him in, and I think they feel like they can control him and whatnot. And if they can't, I guess they'll run without him. But that's what he does. This is his history, right? Has he ever not done this? Gotten pissed off and started screaming and doing the wrong thing by the company?
Maybe in WCW when he was an active wrestler, I don't know, but it was a concern of mine.
He was even back at WCW. Dude was incredibly outspoken backstage. And that was when the internet was just getting started. We all knew that Konnan was a problem child. So but this is who he is, right? He survived for a reason because he's got talent, and they apparently see that, and so they're willing to put up with it. But no, should he be doing it? No. And AAA probably has a better talent basis than Crash does, and they probably have the ability to promote Impact better, and they probably have events that are using Impact wrestlers sooner, and so they're pushing that today. And if Crash comes along tomorrow and Crash can generate more money, then they'll get the bigger push. It's just business with GFW. That's all it is. I don't get it from Konnan. I don't, but whatever.
Look, and I'll kick it to Rob here in a sec just to end it. Konnan does have that history, and apparently the AAA roster is a whole lot better. Just look at Lucha Underground for one. The other thing is Johnny Mundo, or John Morrison's girlfriend or fiance or whatever, that has been kind of tweeting about how much he enjoys GFW and whatnot, did legitimately quit AAA over something that happened at the tapings. Maybe we will see her soon, but Rob, I'm going to kick it back to you. This thing's going to kick us off in about 6 or 7 minutes. So if the show ends when we're still talking, or I don't say goodbye, you'll know what happened. But Rob, thoughts on the Konnan AAA Crash, all that?
Yeah, let's talk about Konnan. Konnan has always been that type of a stiff guy, and he likes to do and to generate heat between the talent, and that is something. My advice when it comes down to Konnan is to take him seriously, but don't take him literally. I won't be surprised if he's helping writing some of the LAX storyline with Josh Mantel. As for the whole AAA team, it was something that happened with Sexy Star. They brought her in because she had a huge ego. She don't like the job, and they throw the girlfriend of Johnny Morrison under the bus. But the thing is that John Morrison have all the belts, basically all the belts of AAA. He has like the cruiserweight, the world title, and the mid-card title. So the Crash is going to take advantage of that. And I won't be surprised if the Crash ended up becoming the hottest promotion in Mexico. So I think it's not a good assessment by Jeff Jarrett to only promote AAA. But that's it. Thank you to everybody for listening all the way through to the Heelcast. So I'm signing out. Go ahead and finish the show, Raven.
All right, yeah. I mean, look, I want to apologize to the listeners. I hope you understand the circumstances. We got to cut this a little bit shorter than we'd like to because I'd like to give you more analysis with this show, and I'm sure we kind of all would. But look, we're about to wrap it out. That was on behalf of Wrestling Robert. Check him out at Robert Does Wrestling. The new, once again, GFW dude. Any closing thoughts you want to say before we head out, my friend?
Nah, man, it was just great. It was just great to be back. Scheduling's been a major pain. Glad to be on.
No doubt. And, we recorded late, about a day later than we normally do this week. Raven Effect schedule kind of butt stuck in there. My new work hours. But, look, I want to thank everyone for tuning in again. Hopefully next week we'll have a little more time. Seriously, the GFW dude went out of his way to get on this show. So, look, want to thank him very much. Thanks to Rob for being a team player with us as well. We're glad to have him on the Heelcast board. You'll see more of Rob with us. Heelcast, listeners, nation, tweet to Fight Network, Ed Nordholm, Jeff Jarrett. Get the lot out. Bring the Heelcast in. Keep watching Impact. Get those ratings up. Have a great week, and we'll be back next week. Peace.